So, hey Jason, thanks for attending our today's interview. And first question, please do a short intro of yourself and what a definer is, in short.
Hey Tracy, really nice to meet you, and I'm so glad to be part of the CTC event. My name is Jason, the founder and CEO of Definer, decentralized finance innovator to define the future of open finance. So we are based in Minneapolis, US, and we have working on our decentralized finance lending protocol for the past 2 years, and right now we are ready to go for our launch. I'm so glad to be part of this event and share things about the DeFi.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's go to the questions session. So we collect a few questions from communities. So I would like to have your opinions. My first question here is, before the recent bull run sign of the DeFi, so actually DeFi was taking experiencing cold shoulder in the market. And the recent outbreak growth has brought confidence to the industry. I mean, lots of people are jumping just into DeFi industry. Lots of projects are coming out. So what kind of development do you think DeFi will experience in the near future?
Yeah, I think DeFi has been this field for over like 2 or 3 years. But last year, not too much attention. But this year, suddenly, DeFi becomes so hot and popular because I think there are several things. One is, last year has a lot of stable coins issued on the blockchain, on the Ethereum, and that's become the blood for the DeFi because DeFi is essentially about finance. The second, there are many projects get investment around like 2 years ago, and DeFi is heavily based on the technology development, and the technology development will take time. So that's why this year you see a lot of projects come on the line, and it become ecosystem. So in my opinion, finance is always about an ecosystem. So there's not single service can meet the demand from people. There's always about an ecosystem. So this year you see things, the past 2 years development, you see a lot insurance, the decentralized finance, exchange, option, derivatives, market makers, all this and lending, all this come together and make the service much easier for the people to use. In the near future, in my opinion, DeFi need to solve 3 things. First, the current Ethereum blockchain has already reached its capacity. The maximum capacity for Ethereum, I think, is around 1 million to 1.5 million transactions per day. If we cannot solve this problem, DeFi is only available, for a limited group of people, like 100,000, 500,000 people, but it never can go beyond, the mass majority because we are waiting for the Ethereum network to upgrade. So upgrade the output volume. I think that's one thing. Also, there's a very exciting development going on. The second thing is about the cross-chain and interactability. Because right now, the DeFi, we have also CeFi. CeFi, the volume is very big, much bigger than DeFi. And why? Because the CeFi can easily support and the Bitcoin and other assets, but DeFi just cannot. So there's another very interesting move, and we already saw many other projects has been working on this. Make it, we can onboard in Bitcoin asset, we can onboard in other, off-chain asset. So that's the cross-chain thing. If we can make a breakthrough, DeFi's volume will at least go up over 10 times again. And I think that's the 2 key things. The third thing for the DeFi, I think is, the DeFi need to keep it open and solve the security problem. And you see there are a lot of security problems, then we need a standard security check process and make people believe, the DeFi is real deal and very secure to use. I think after we solve these 3 things, also that's the 3 things in this near future people are working on, then you will see, the DeFi will be more popular, and that's just a start.
Okay. Thank you for having your opinions. My second question is, as you just said, DeFi is not only competing with traditional finance, but also coexisting with a traditional finance. However, recently, as we all know, there are frequent security problems occurring in DeFi industry, right? So from your opinion, so can the security level of DeFi achieve a level that is just as secure as a centralized system? What's your take?
Yeah, I do believe so, because overall the financial system globally, they are managing $270 trillion of asset, right? So for DeFi right now, we only have like 3 or 4 billion asset under management. So you can see the difference. Even DeFi grows like 10 times, 100 times, it's still pretty small. Let's go back to the security issues. I think right now, this current security level is good enough to support like 4 billion, several billion dollars asset, but it cannot handle trillions dollars, like $100 trillion asset. I think DeFi is still very, very early. I think we have a long way to go. It's more like 90s for the internet. You know, when internet comes, there's a lot of issues, and the same with DeFi. That's why in the product development, they have different phase. In current DeFi phase, I still call it the alpha phase. Like even we have product, but it's only experimental and for a small group of people. And then we need to solve the security problem, because once we solve the product itself, if they can handle billions of assets for several years, which means give a long time for people to hack it, right? To find the bugs, to find the loophole. If there's no loophole and no bugs finding, which means this protocol is secure enough and ready to handle bigger assets. So I think the security is the most important thing. We need to have very defined and standard security process, which definer has defined by ourselves. And that's the most important thing we need to solve. Because the finance is built on the trust, and the trust is built on the safety of users' fund. How can you guarantee the safety? The one most important thing is the code safety. So that's what I'm thinking.
You make it very detailed, and I feel so much curious to know more about what definer is in the following days. Okay, let's go back to our next question. As you just said, like DeFi, you see just like a beginning of 90s, something like internet time, right? So there's still a lot of room for development in the field of DeFi. And the competition is also, we see right now, it's very fierce. And what is the future development plan of definer when opportunities and competition coexist?
Yes. There's a lot of things to develop under DeFi, because there's so many things in the traditional financial systems, in the services, and all the services actually can be provided through the DeFi, through the code. And for definer, we put ourselves in lending and borrowing, all the debt market. So there's in current market, there's no successful fixed rate and fixed terms product available. But if you take a look of the traditional finance, actually the most volume of lending and borrowing on the debt market goes to the fixed terms and fixed rate product, right? All the corporate bond and the debt issuing, margin loans, a lot of them are actually fixed product, and mortgage, right? I think the most popular is the mortgage. It's all fixed terms, fixed rate product, and it is easier for people to predict the future cash flow. So for definer, we have under developing our fixed rate and fixed term product, make it very easy for user to use, and we'll be the first one to provide this kind of debt issuing platform for companies like mining companies, even for project or QOL, and anything can be used as collateral, and also once that's launched, it's easier for the small medium-sized business like mining companies to plan their cash flow, and they don't need to worry about today the interest is 1%, after 1 month the interest is 20%. So right now the long-term loan floating rate, I think it's suitable for the trading You know, you kind of deploy your trading strategy and borrow very short term. I don't think it's good for the long term. Also, it's not good for the DeFi to serve the real business. In order to serve the real business, you need to have a fixed term loans, and then people can plan it around. Also, you can access the risk score and get the most popular rate. So I think that's the next coming product under development for Defender. So for Defender, in this ecosystem, we will be the most secured, decentralized lending, borrowing, and payment network. So and to serve everyone within the blockchain, cryptocurrency, digital asset ecosystem. So that's how we position our Defender.
Okay, Jason, thanks for staying with me, and we will have more to catch up later. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, and it's my great pleasure to be here. And I believe we will have a very great event over Shenzhen. Yeah, very looking forward to that.